welcome to Namecast.
I have to warn you, Kev, coming in hot with the island accent here, bud. I spent the whole weekend, I was with a lot of islanders, and the accent is coming in thick, what?
Really now.
Hey guys, how we doing today? So we are Namecast. We're a podcast that posts every week.
Yeah.
On all the things. We got the iTunes, we got the Google Plays, we got the YouTubes.
Yeah, all those three things.
Whew, that's a lot of things, man.
Yeah, bud.
We play a different game every week.
Different indie
games,
yeah.
Specifically an independently developed game.
Yes, sir.
And we play it. We talk about it with you folks. If you want, you can play it yourself. This week we are talking about Hollow Knight.
Yeah.
Oh boy, I'm excited to talk about this little gem.
Oh, I bet.
Yep.
Yeah.
Excited to talk about it. Last week we talked about a game.
Inside.
We finished Inside. Gross. And next week we'll be playing Gone Home.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh. Is it a horror game? Who knows? Check it out yourself if you want. I definitely recommend that one. That is one of my personal favorites. Spoilers for next week's episode. So we're talking about Hollow Knight this week, Kev. We're also talking about the Far Cry 5 announcement trailer, the Gwent gameplay trailer, and Star Trek Bridge Crew has been released. It's the pre-E3 just nothing.
There's not that much news going on right around now.
No, not a thing is going on, sir. But listen, we got to get our housekeeping out of the way. What the heck have you been up to?
I don't know. I don't feel like I've been up to a huge, awful lot.
Okay.
I had my first dodgeball game.
Oh, snap. What's your team name?
New tournament. The Feisty Goats.
The Feisty
is the team I'm
Goats.
on. We did some winning, which was pretty sweet.
Shit.
Feel like I played pretty well. I wasn't too sore after, which is nice. Yep. And yeah, I'm enjoying it so far. I'm excited to see how my team does in the league and keep playing. It's a good time.
Good times all
Dodgeball's
around.
a good time.
It is a good time.
Other than that, I have been playing a shit ton of Persona.
What's the hour count? Are we in the 50s? Uh-oh.
68 or 69?
Fuck. You 69? Yeah, buddy.
68,
yeah,
I
buddy.
think is where I'm at.
Let's go with 69.
69, yeah.
That's an air horn. Okay.
Yeah, I am getting real into the story now.
Nice.
The story picks up pace a lot.
It really picks up at the 69-hour mark, dude.
At the 60-hour mark, it picks up.
Oh, my God.
It's great. And yeah, I'm enjoying the crap out of the game. I'm going to have so much to say about it.
Yep.
And I'm excited to, put that into more concrete formats.
You're going to do a proper analysis when you complete it, I imagine. And the next couple weeks, you can see that here or hear that with your ear eyes.
Yeah, on our Namecast YouTube channel.
Yes.
It'll be on there somewhere. Somehow. Someplace.
Oh, we're not going to do it on the podcast.
I'll talk about it on the podcast for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
You don't want to deprive the listeners, Kev. We got listeners.
I won't.
Across the globes.
But I'm thinking a proper analysis, scripted video.
Right. Okay. Full on breakdown
for the YouTube. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
For the YouTube audience.
Pretty sweet. I really don't think I've been up to much else. Done some video editing.
Yeah. Good one. I really liked your Dark Souls video. It was good.
It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny. There's this relationship between how much fun an episode is to record and
how much it sucks.
How good the video is in the end. It's kind of an inverse relationship.
Yeah, because that one sucked to record.
It took a while. It was a lot of work, a lot of headaches, but oh my God.
Oh yeah, that just montage itself was 40 minutes of us dying.
Yeah, it was just the montage part was 21 deaths.
Oh my gosh.
And that's real fun when put down into less than a minute.
Yeah. When actually done in real time?
Not so much
awful.
Fun. It's a lot of work. But yeah, it was good fun.
Yeah.
That's basically been my week.
Yeah, I liked your cuts. They're good, man. They're good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I had a chill weekend. I didn't do much. I just lies. I had an insane weekend. It was my birthday. Thanks for saying happy birthday, Kev. I am a quarter of a century old. I'm 1/8 of the way to 200. Think I'm gonna make it. Listen, now I had myself a time, sir.
Yeah.
Most people, they go out on their birthdays. They're like, listen, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna drink with my friends. I'm gonna have a good time. No, not this guy. I go to the world famous Cabot Trail in Cape Breton. Some would call it a shithole. I don't think it is. I think it's quite nice, actually. I like it. I don't know why people from Halifax don't like Cape Breton.
It's Cape Bretoners that they don't like.
Okay.
But also, I think
ban.
you were there at a good time of the year where it doesn't have so many bugs.
Yeah, bugs were not an issue. So, the Cabot Trail. Now, picture this, Kev. In your mind's eye, the eye of your mind, you got this 280-kilometer trail. Now, I say the word trail, it's a road.
Oh, yeah.
A very scenic road. It goes around the whole area, okay?
Yep.
And it's nice. It kind of looks like Scotland a little bit. Nova Scotia makes a lot of sense.
Lots of hills.
Yep. Lots of rolling hills.
Mountains and cliffs.
And you look at this trail of 280 kilometers, and you think to yourself, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to get people, come over, team, 17 of them, and they're going to fucking run it. That's what you say to yourself, Kevin. I would say you're nuts. I would say you're a crazy person, and no one should ever do that. But God damn it, Kev, if I'm lying, I'm dying, bud.
Yeah.
That's what those crazy fuckers did. And holy shit. So the town of Bedeck, 700 people. It was scoured with 1,400 runners.
How do you fit that many people into Bedeck?
I swear to God, I went into their co-op. All the energy bars were gone.
I bet.
It was ridiculous.
Man, that Timmy's outside of Bedeck must have been just like
packed
shoulder to shoulder.
Okay, I swear to God. So, okay, the way it's a relay race, and you do legs of the Cabot Trail, and it goes straight through for 35 hours.
Yeah.
Of this fucking thing. And I'll just get into my involvement in this, but I went a very long time without sleep, and I am running on fumes right now. I'm going to crash after this. Whew. So anyway, the way it works, you have different legs of the race that you run, and your whole team runs it as you go through the time. You have your chip timers. That's standard running stuff.
Yeah.
And you stop at each leg. There's like a lot of rules, but basically you stop at the end of the finish line of each leg, and you should support your runner throughout it. So after the 10-kilometer mark, you're allowed to give them water, take their jacket, all that kind of stuff. And there's a lot of rules following where you can park, where you can be, what you can do, because you don't want to get penalties as your team.
Yeah.
Which is understandable because honestly, this road was never designed for something like this. Like
barely designed for driving, and it's a popular tourist driving destination.
It was never meant to have hundreds of runners hurtling down it. Like it's not the intention of this road at all.
Yeah.
Because there were a lot of cars and things like that. Anyway, so you would get to each stop, and there would be some type of food location, and I swear to God, every fucking inn we stopped at, they never saw it coming. It's like they didn't get the memo or something. Because there was I don't remember what it's called, the Laughing Goat or something. You could not cram more humans into a space. It was, I think there was a line. I don't know. It was just the amount of humans in there was amazing. I didn't think you could fit that many people into a tight space like that.
Yeah.
It was just, the workers were just like the looks on their face are I don't get paid enough to do this. They were not ready at all. We conquered the poor town. I mean, it must be a big economic boon to the area, but holy Jesus. It was wild, man. And then the biggest thing that they don't tell you about, the bathroom lineups. Oh man, I peed in the woods a lot.
I bet. There's a lot of woods there to pee in, thankfully.
Yeah, you're not supposed to. You get a penalty, but this guy got away with it. Woo, I'm a slippery wicket. I'm a good peer. My mom always said I was a good peer. Anyway, so run this thing. But the thing we did was, we're a young team, we're a dumb team, and we're brand new to this. We didn't know what we were doing. It was my buddy, Greg. I think I've talked about him a bit on the show. He doesn't know how the internet works, so he'll never see this. But I'm sure he kind of knows how it works, but he doesn't care about it. Anyway, he's a cool dude. Anyway, he was the team captain, and he's like, listen, we're going to do this. It's going to be fun. No one else in the team really took any ownership of anything, so Greg and I, we made our way over there, two island boys. We can do this. We're going to have fun. Set up our camp. Not a bad time. Get a fire going. Hell of a trouble. But we got it going. We were both in scouts. We know how to tie an eagle knot. I don't know what that means. But anyway, we got that going. Greg's sitting there eating his beans. He's got a can of beans that he's holding by the lid. And he's got the can in the fire. and he's cooking them like that, and you can't see it because it's so dark. You just hear the bubbling, so I assumed it was boiling.
It's probably done at that point.
I look over, and the fire is going up the can and like around Greg's fingers as he's just slowly peeling his fingers back. He's like, getting pretty warm. Getting pretty warm. He then takes a can of tuna, opens it up, and mushes it in with the beans. I'm sitting there cooking wieners, just having a time. Anyway, so our team shows up, and no one's enthusiastic. We're like, we are not going to be able to do this well. This was a terrible idea. You know, I'm in reasonable shape, but I didn't want to friggin' do it.
Yeah.
So anyway, so we get there, and we're like, okay, we can do this. It's fine. So Greg and I wake up at about 5 a.m. So we're on about 4 hours sleep.
Mm-hmm.
I got to run at like 6 or so.
Mm-hmm.
So he's like, let's do it. So we start off the morning, not too bad. Greg's a support vehicle. This is going great. Fast forward, time keeps going on. Greg runs his leg. He does great. Time keeps going on. We get to 1 a.m. We're still the support vehicle. So we've been going for a good while at this point. We started at 5 a.m. It's 1 a.m. now. And we have to do a water stop. Oh, my God. And the delirious the delirium, whatever you call it, set in entirely. The name of our team was I Can't Feel My Legs. Can I feel yours? And we took that to the fullest extent. We what? We were at a water stop and we were screaming at people, "Can I feel your legs? Can I please feel your legs?" We also came up with the song, I can't feel my legs, can I feel yours?
Yeah,
I think you'll like it.
Yeah.
I think we thought it was good, but oh man, some people got a kick out of that. Some people were really not amused.
I bet.
It was funny. At one point, Greg tried to give water to this guy, and it just exploded when it hit the guy's hand. And Greg's legs were hurt, and the guy's like, "Oh, it's okay, I'm fine." And Greg's like, "No, you're not." So he literally chases this guy down, gives him water, and the guy just like throws it into his own face, just like the cup and everything. It was awesome. Oh man, it was quite an event. Anyway, we get back at the campground at like 3 a.m. So we had a long day, like a 22-hour day.
Sounds fun.
And then we sleep for 2 hours, and then we get up the next day and drive around and pick people up, keep doing stuff because we're crazy people.
Yeah.
Delirium is in full swing at this point.
I bet.
And then Greg and I are like, no, we haven't had enough adventure. So we're like, I wonder if there's a place around here to climb. So we search for Cape Clear in Cape Breton, Nova Scotia. And buddy, let me tell you, we found snow.
I bet you can find snow there.
I'm happy we were in Greg's Jeep Wrangler because we wouldn't have made it in any other vehicle, I don't think.
Yeah.
This drive is the most... Now, okay, we were making a joke on the drive up. I'm like, you always see the Jeep commercials, and it's like, are you ever going to drive over stuff? You know, they're driving over these crazy terrain. And
Yeah.
Buddy, we made a fucking commercial, let me tell you what. Oh, my God. I've never seen stuff like this. So we're going over the snow. That's fine. But the puddles we were going through, they would have been up to my knee easily. I'm a tall man. I'm 6'3", and they would have been easily up to my knee. We were going over blocks, like 2.5 foot high blocks that were just made of granite, just like jutting out of the road. If you can call it a road, it was a path more than anything, and just like washed out in areas and absolutely ridiculous. So we get there, and the site is absolutely beautiful. We get there, we see it, we're like, oh yeah, we got enough time. We got to make it out here back to the ferry because we live on a small island, you know? And we're like, well, you know what? If we leave here at about 4:30 or so, should be fine. Enough time to get back to the ferry, maybe even stop at Dairy Queen, have a good time. So we load up, we rappel down the side of this cliff face, beautiful. Get up, kind of climb up. Takes a while to climb up, but we have no idea what time it is. We're just kind of doing it, having fun climbing, doing our thing. Get to the top, did a nice 510A. Scared the shit out of a couple because we were screaming at each other because we couldn't hear each other because we were about 100 feet away from each other. And they thought we were screaming for help. So they drove up to the top of this mountain on their ATV, and they're like... delirious. They're going, man, and then we get up and they're like, "Oh my God, you're alive!" We thought someone was screaming for help. We came from our homes. It was the funniest thing. The Cape Bretoners, though, sweet people, man.
Yeah.
But like, oh my God, They just looked white as ghosts. We were the ones hanging off the cliff, Yeah. Anyway, so we're like, oh no, thanks so much, guys. We're fine. Any idea, what time it is? Yeah. It's 5:30. Uh-oh. If we don't make the boat, we're not making it home tonight. That's our plan because we are tired. We're on maybe 6 hours sleep for the whole weekend.
You need that 30-minute nap?
Oh, man. So we're like, fuck it. We gotta go. So Greg cruises out of this crazy Jeep commercial place, and I've never seen someone drive like that before. It was amazingly. He's going $120 over some of this shit. Like he's going in and out and going around, and it's a standard, and he's going into different gears.
Jesus.
He's doing shit I haven't seen, man. Oh my God. And he's going around, and I'm like, what's the concern, Greg? He's like, I may pop a tire. And that was it. The back end was
spare one on the back. We're all good.
There was, yeah. And the back end was just swinging at some spots. We're going out of there. It took us an hour and 10 minutes to get into this. We got out in 37. Holy shit, did we ever make time?
I bet.
Anyway, our estimate for the bridge was for the ferry was off. We had enough time to go over. We made our way to Dairy Queen.
Nice.
Had ourselves a nice little bit of ice cream, as a congratulations for ourselves.
Yeah, that's appropriate at the very least.
I figured so. And then we got to the ferry, had a beer, had a good time. I thought Greg was doing okay.
Mm-hmm.
Well, turns out Greg doesn't handle no sleep very well.
No.
We get on the ferry, and Greg's like, I think I'm just going to go to the beds. And I'm like, there's no beds on here. I'm like, okay, whatever. So anyway, I go carry on my merry way. I'm going around talking to people and, doing my thing. And I'm like, where the hell's Greg? I thought he was coming up. I go upstairs on the top of the ferry, and I see 2 feet sticking out of the end of one of these long boots. And the shoes just flop down beside it, and arms just straight stretched out on this thing. Greg is out like light. I'm like, you know what? That's a good idea. So I go over to the other side of the ferry. I go take a nap myself, Not too bad of an idea. I wake up, kind of flip myself around onto my back. I can see ahead of me. I see Greg. He's getting up. I'm like, oh, cool. Greg's getting up, and he doesn't look good. Then I close my eyes for a second, open them again. Greg's kind of coming towards me with a phone in his hand. Looks like he's talking to someone. Still doesn't look good. I see him turn right, kind of wave to him. He waves back to me, and then he comes back over and just falls. Like face forward, falls right onto the booth that's beside me. Boom, down. And then ding, ding, this is your captain speaking. Get in your car. So we're like, okay, time to wake up and go. And I've never seen someone look this lost. Greg's like, how'd I get over here? What? You were just on the phone. What? He had no idea. He had no recollection of it. And holy shit, was he wet. He sweat like you wouldn't believe it.
My God.
There was a puddle.
Oh.
A puddle in the spot where he was sleeping, and he did not seem okay. He didn't remember any information, couldn't recall anything. And you know what the best part was?
Mm-hmm.
His vehicle's a standard. I can't drive stick. So I'm looking at him. I'm giving him the eye tests. I'm like, how many fingers do you see? I'm going around pointing stuff. Anyway, Greg is not okay.
Yeah.
We're not making it home. That's what we've decided. We ended up crashing at his parents' place in Montague and ended up booking her back for the night. But man, whew, talk about sleep deprivation. It can get you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess he
Serious
didn't
stuff.
tell me this until then, but he was throwing up the morning we woke up. He was way sleep deprived. Like way. He was sick as a
That's
dog.
not good.
No, man. It was. So when people are asking me about the Cabot Trail relay race, what a stupid idea. Who the hell would do that, Kevin? That crazy fucker who looks at this 300-kilometer stretch and goes, you know what? I'm going to get 17 people to run this fucker. Screw that guy.
Yeah.
Screw that guy is what I have to
That's
say.
fair.
That is my tale about the Cabot Trail relay race, sir.
Nice.
You thought this was a podcast about video games? Oh, doctor. Yes, it is. So, we got the news you need to know about, Kevin.
Yeah.
Far Cry 5, we got an announcement trailer, and Sweet Baby Jesus, that was intended. It is about a cult.
What a smooth segue.
Thank
yes.
you. Ooh,
Yes.
doggy.
That's interesting. It's like Southern American, like extremist Christian religion cult.
But the thing I find weird, because like in Far Cry, right, you get there and you're like, I gotta get myself a bigger backpack or whatever. I'm gonna go kill a rhino to do that. You're just gonna fucking choke out a deer? Like, what do you got to do? What kind of critters we killing here?
There was a lot of critters in that trailer.
Yeah.
I saw a bear.
Yep.
Bears are cool.
Bears are cool.
But yeah, I don't know. Fucking bears and deers and I don't know, whatever else you find in America.
Yep. Because I like
mountain cougars.
I like the tribal aspect of Far Cry, but it's interesting that they're kind of getting away from that a little bit. Because it looks like modern day pretty much.
Far Cry wasn't always travel. Far Cry 2 was like Africa. Like modern day.
Yeah, but how's that not trap? Oh, no. I meant like, no, because Far Cry 3 wasn't tribal either. I just mean like totally different cultures from America.
Oh, okay.
Basically. Sorry. Yeah. I guess that's badly explained. There were tribes in Far Cry 3. Don't worry
I just
about
like
it.
the idea any culture other than America is tribal.
I'm a terrible, terrible person. I'm
Foreign
sorry.
is the word you're looking for.
Yes, that is. Listen, man, I'm telling you, I got no sleep.
Fair enough.
Give me
fair
a
enough.
break. Okay, so yeah, what do you think about this?
It looks pretty cool. I was never super into Far Cry 5 because it's open world and those things just don't catch on with me.
Yeah.
For whatever reason.
Yeah, Zelda didn't even hook you.
Yeah. But anyways, Far Cry 5 is like it's an interesting theme. Like
Yep.
it's a nice change up and keeps things fresh, which I think is pretty important when the number of games in a series you're on is fucking 5.
Technically 6,
Yeah.
because Far Cry Primal.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, what I find interesting about it is like, I'm happy they're taking it in a different direction. You know, they could have went to another foreign location, and I guess this is maybe very North American of me to assume that, you know, it's normal to be in North America. You know, for someone who's not in North America, which there are tons of gamers all around the world, they're going to be maybe excited to see this, like a different take on it, right? But for me, it's kind of like, oh, back at home.
Yeah.
Like, not quite at home. I mean, I guess it seems like it's down in the south of the States, I would assume.
Yeah. I don't know.
Like Alabama or something. Or,
Yeah. It seems interesting.
It
Very
does seem
least,
interesting.
like, the culture there is significantly different than here.
Yeah, and then surprise, surprise, a game company does something different. The internet alarms go off, and people get upset. What you were telling me, people are upset.
It's mostly
what's the
like
issue this time?
all the Christian imagery.
Yeah,
That's what they're upset about. and
but they
it
didn't use a
being
cross.
Violent.
To be clear, they did not use a cross.
Yeah, just a symbol based on the cross.
It was like an X with double lines. Like it was not a standard Christian cross.
Yeah, no, but I'm sure there's standard Christian crosses in the game
Maybe.
as well. But like, I don't know. I don't get the upsetness at all. I didn't look into it too much because I don't know. People get upset.
People get upset a lot these days.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I'm excited for it. I'm excited that they're doing something different. We'll see how it goes, man.
Yeah.
I kind of like Far Cry 4, but Far Cry 3 was awesome. And I'm really interested in the fact that they're going with a February release date because they did that for Far Cry Primal. And I think it sold pretty well.
Yeah, it's kind of been like a quiet secret for a good few years that like February games do really well.
That was not a secret this year, sir. We had the biggest fucking Q1 ever.
Yeah, I think this year and this past year and the year coming up, like it's obvious that the AAA developers want in on that February money.
Oh, just to be clear, I realized I'd messed up. That's technically Q4. My bad.
Yeah,
because Q1 starts in March. But yeah, nuts.
Yeah,
absolutely nuts. Yeah, so I don't know. We'll see what we get. Now we got Gwent here. Now this is an interesting story or development for me at least because Gwent, if you don't know, is a card game within The Witcher 3.
Yeah.
And what I think is really cool about it is it's kind of an example of if your team has something real cool, run with it. But it's like, at what point should you shut something like that down? Because this could have easily been like we're thinking of implementing a card game in this. And someone who maybe didn't see that the team were onto something, they would have shut down and be like, this is pointless. Why are you putting this much time into this side experience?
Yeah.
But people started playing this game within Gwent, and they're like, holy shit, Gwent is good.
Yeah.
It's a well-designed, well-balanced game.
Yeah.
So they made actual physical copies of the game. People like that a lot. They're like, we're just going to release Gwent as its own game.
Yeah.
And people are stoked.
Yeah. I mean, like, yeah, I think some amount of it's probably a surprise to developers. Like, they probably were like, hey, this is a rather decent card game, and, like, you know, we think it's worth our time putting it into The Witcher because it's kind of this, like, collectible thing for the player to do, like, kind of, and it's a game full of, like, little side quest things. So
I wonder how it came up in the studio.
In that way.
If it was just, like, from a jam or something, maybe, or?
I don't know, maybe just some fun ideas, and they're like, yeah, let's just, you know, we can run with it, so let's do it.
Yeah.
But anyways, yeah, I think they, like, you know, kind of knew it was good and thought it fit into the game pretty decently, but I don't think they expected players to like it near as much as they did.
Yeah.
Because, everybody like raved about Gwent.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not much of one for card games like that, but I can see how someone would get into it.
Yeah.
And people love it.
Yeah.
And it just goes to show you that, I mean, something we talk about in this a lot, like when someone says, I want to make a game, it's perfectly valid to make a card game.
Yeah, they're games.
They are games. You know what I mean? Games are games. And if you're a game designer, why not try your hand at making something like a card game? You know, you're still balancing. You're still doing things like that.
Yeah, a lot of them are actually
you don't have to be able to
like,
program to be a game designer.
So like
Well,
board
kinda,
games,
sorta.
board games and card games are like actually really good practice for game designers.
Yeah.
Because they give you less leeway to lean on, I don't know, good feeling controls or good graphics,
Right.
or good audio. Like you can't lean on those things to like make the game better.
Yeah.
So you just have to legitimately make a good game. And
Yeah,
it's
make
kind of
something
easier
intriguing.
to tell and like give yourself feedback and get feedback from friends and stuff as well.
Yeah, because it's so accessible, right?
Yeah.
Well, it should be accessible.
Yeah,
If you
exactly.
If you made a good
it's
game.
got a bunch of its own challenges
Yeah.
and stuff like that as well. So, yeah, it's pretty cool thing for game designers to do. So I understand why there was passion in the studio to create it in the first place, and passion to keep it going because I'm sure they're enjoying having their own Hearthstone-like thing.
Yeah, and I mean, it's a testament to the fact that CD Projekt Red does good stuff. They know what they're doing. That's clear within The Witcher. That is a fantastic game, but just this small side project that made its way in that people adore. Like, this studio really knows what they're doing, and I'm excited to see what they're going to do with, what is it, Cyberpunk 2074 or something like that? It's like a steampunk game that they're making that's coming out that I'm really excited to see. I mean, this is a studio that's on such a rise, man.
Oh, yeah.
And there's such a big like industry in, where are they from? They're Poland?
Poland.
Yeah, they're in Poland, and like they're a big money place for Poland. Like they're probably a big aspect of their GDP.
Yeah, they're like.
Yeah,
I think the company's worth like $1 billion or something, which is
and
pretty up there as
they're
far
an
as like
independent company.
Polish companies. Yeah,
Technically, we could review The Witcher 3. We're not going to, but we could.
yeah,
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, man.
I'm happy to see game developers like willing to do kind of these other smaller kind of projects just because hey, they're fun. I think Gwent's a great example of this. I think Hearthstone's another one, like just a small team out of Blizzard making a card game. Fuck yeah, it turned out amazing.
And you know what's cool? And this is a testament to if you make a good game, it's not always going to pay off well, but you will have a longevity. Longer
Longevity.
I have the longest longevity. That doesn't make sense.
Longer life?
Yes.
Yeah.
You'll have a longer life with customers. And The Witcher's sales in 2017, Q1 or Q4, the beginning of the year, basically, were bigger than their sales at the beginning of 2016.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, that doesn't happen if you have a shit game.
Definitely not.
No. So, it's make good games.
Yeah. just make a good game.
Just make a good game. It's easy.
Just do it.
No, but you know what I mean. You know where I'm coming from.
Definitely.
If you delay a product and make it good, people are going to latch onto it.
Yeah.
It's going to have a longer life. People are going to talk about it more.
Yeah.
And especially if you make a good game inside of that game fucking-ception with Gwent, you get people talking about it. What's this Gwent? Oh, for The Witcher. Oh, I never played The Witcher. You know what I mean? I guarantee that's what's happening in some situations.
Yep.
So yeah, man, really cool. And that's something else we got where this is a game that you're really hype on, but I'm just kind of about.
Yeah, so
we got Star Trek Bridge Crew. It's released. What is this?
It's out now. So Star Trek Bridge Crew is one of the games that got me really excited for VR. Basically what it is you and your friends are commanding the bridge in a ship in Star Trek. It's basically what you're doing. And each of you kind of takes on their own role. And of course it's in VR, so like you're wearing the headset and you can see each other like kind of in the bridge, and you can talk to each other, stuff like that, and you get to work together to command this spaceship.
Yeah.
Which means doing shit in space.
That
which
sounds
is
awesome.
always cool.
Yeah. Space
Always
shit's
nice.
cool.
Yeah.
You want to make shit cool, make it in space.
So like me and a few coworkers have on a couple occasions played a similar idea of a game called Artemis.
Yep.
Where you each kind of control your own kind of that's the word I'm looking for. You do your own things.
Yep.
And you kind
Crew
of have
member.
this. Yeah.
That's what you're looking for, right? Crew member?
I think station or something like that.
Oh, okay. Sorry, my bad.
But yeah, you're kind of like playing your own. I don't want to say like it's a mini game, but you have your own kind of simple set of controls.
Yep.
And you kind of make your own decisions. But there's one person who doesn't have any controls, who's kind of like telling everybody what to do. The captain, just relaying information through everybody and stuff like that. And you go around, you have to fight enemy ships and stuff, and
that sounds sick.
It's super cool. And like one aspect of it is that like everybody has like a shared screen, and one person's in control of what's on that screen.
Yeah.
So they can switch between like the map view for everybody to look at, or the front view, or like rear views, like stuff like that.
That sounds cool.
It's an incredibly awesome social experience. And one thing that has been said a lot about VR is that it kind of really sells itself again once you try social experience.
Which is interesting because, it's blocking off your face. It's blocking off. So, like, people physically around you, you're not even in that space with them, really.
Yeah.
You're in your own virtual space. So, that's cool. But
when you share a virtual space with people, like
exactly.
that's when like you can feel really connected from that.
That's some future ass shit.
Yeah, it's insane how much like just body language is shown from just headset tracking movement.
Yeah.
Like just how people kind of lean and look at other people, tilt their heads and stuff like that. Like
you can see
how they're doing that, and just like the simple like representation of it like conveys a crap ton of body language, which is sweet.
Yeah, which is really cool because you have something like Dark Souls where you need to have emotes. You need to have something to show what because the idle animation of the character isn't going to tell you shit.
Yeah.
But the way I'm looking at you about something, you can probably be like, oh, he's confused about something, or he seems like so. And you know what the best part is? It's only going to get better.
Yeah.
We're only going to get better scanning. We're only going to get better tracking. We're probably going to reach a point where it's like 1-to-1.
Yeah.
And that you see me, I see you. That's cool.
It is super cool. I think, yeah. The other really nice thing about Star Trek Bridge Crew is actually it works across PS4, VR, Vive, and Rift.
Really?
So all those people can play together.
That's pretty
Which
neat.
is pretty awesome because, one of my biggest complaints about VR is there's been so much segregation in it with like, exclusives or timed exclusives. And, just the platforms being pretty significantly different. But Star Trek Bridge Crew is actually a game that kind of works on all of them equally.
That's really cool that they decided to do that. I'm surprised that will there be some... I guess, you can have your own quality with regards to the PS4 and then on like a Vive or something, right? Like it's just, you're just going to have a different quality experience. Okay. Huh. That's neat.
Pretty excited for that game, and it's getting reviewed really fucking well as well.
People are liking it?
Yeah. It's great. A lot of like 9s and 10s.
It's one of those things, though, if you get matched up with a random crew, is it still fun?
I don't know. I really feel like it's something you have to play with friends because there's so much like socialness there. You don't want to be like, awkward with somebody else.
Yeah.
So, I think it's kind of more like a social with friends, but cross-platform, so it's a little bit easier.
A little bit easier.
PS4 VR is not super expensive.
No, it's not. You can get yourself a VR unit with your PlayStation, like $800.
Yeah.
Not even? Yeah.
Yep.
That's not bad. I
know.
can get the job done,
Yeah.
Like the farmer's daughter, she'll do in a pinch, bud. Let me tell you what now. Like something that'll do in a pinch, we will do in a pinch with regards to a game. That wasn't a good segue, but I'm doing my best here.
No.
This week, Kev, we played Hollow Knight. Story about a bug. Kind of. Sort of.
Yeah.
And next week, we'll be playing Gone Home. So if you want, go ahead, catch that, get caught up to us and play the game, and we'll play through it together. So, like we do normally, we are not going to go into spoilers for the game, but you know what? I got no spoilers for this game, Kev. There's nothing really to spoil. I don't think.
Not really. We'll
what you're getting into.
Our full experiences
now,
and stuff.
This game, Hollow Knight here, developed by Team Cherry. And did you know, Kev, she was a Kickstarter game?
Yeah.
Yes, it was.
I didn't even realize that.
No.
So just
me
looking it
neither.
up.
And did you know this?
What?
Australian, bud.
Australian.
Indie studio in Australia called Team Cherry, and they raised $57,000 out of $35,000. That's awesome.
Up the 35,000 goal, yeah.
Yep.
That's
and
pretty cool.
they received funding from IndieFund. What's IndieFund?
IndieFund gives a lot of indie games funding. Usually when they're pretty close to completion, especially in the case of this, like they announced their funding for Hollow Knight like 2 weeks before the game launched.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I imagine like, Team Cherry already had their money and stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, I don't know. It's cool. IndieFund does a lot of support, and especially like to help people like that last little bit get the game published, get it in the eyes of people that need to see it.
Yeah.
To buy it, stuff like that. Which is pretty sweet.
Very cool, man. Now, sorry, I'm not dying. So the original plan for the game was a 10-hour game that they complete 1 year. They end up making a 40-plus game in 2 years.
Yeah.
Wow. That's something else. Now, this game here, it's a Metroidvania is what they call this.
It's true.
And so that means it's, it doesn't necessarily mean that it has to be 2D, but this one is 2D. And you basically have a big map that connects through a lot of areas, and you're going back. There's a lot of backtracking you do. There's a lot of figuring out that you have to do, and the fighting is it's real time.
Yep.
It's you swing your sword, you hit a guy, and it's pretty base level with regards to that. Like, there's not a lot of customization you can do on your character with regards to getting stronger. There's no levels like in Symphony of the Night or anything like that. But so Metroidvania, interesting.
Yep.
They decided to go with that. Beautiful art style, man.
Oh yeah,
Beautiful.
Hand drawn art style, like just looks so good.
Yeah, man.
Such a pretty game.
And it has nice art. Now we got all the names of everyone involved in the project listed down there. I don't think we need to list them all off.
Yeah, not really. The core of the team's like 3 people.
Yep.
And
what do we got?
The music was done by Christopher Larkin.
Yeah, and I noticed here you got Matthew Leth Griffin. Now, he was PR and marketing, but he was also involved in a game we really like, Stardew Valley.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess
like
he's
that.
also done PR and marketing for Interstellaria. I don't even know how to say that.
And
Wanderlust Adventure. So it's kind of cool. Like, this is something that's kind of picking up in indie, and you're especially seeing a lot with kind of, more business-focused people like PR and marketing, but also like kind of law people and stuff.
Yeah.
It's like they'll actually kind of bounce from indie project to indie project, just helping with some of the later and smaller things that, developers aren't so good at.
Yeah, it's cool how the indie market is like such a, I don't know, it's kind of like the Wild West.
Yeah.
Right now, and it's, there's less rules, and like you see stuff like this in games where, what was it? It was Frog Fractions 2.
Yeah.
Where their symbols for the game was in a ton of other games.
Yeah.
They didn't pay for that, it was friends making deals is what it was, and it's these people, these creators coming together to do kind of like a YouTube collaboration, but in a video game format.
Yeah, just a fun idea. Do it together.
Yeah, put some of my stuff in your game, put some of your stuff in my game. There's no legal things really involved. I mean, maybe in some circumstances, but like, now you own retaining rights to my IP. It's not like that. It's more from the ground up. Like, fuck it, man. I'll put a sprite of my character in your game.
Yeah.
You put a sprite of your character. People find it. They'll think it's cool. Mm-hmm. So I really like that we're at a place like that right now. And something cool that I saw you had about this here. So now they originally forwarded on Game Jams, but their mutual love of Zelda 2 is what really brought them closest. The most like obscure Zelda game.
I mean, yeah, and not exactly a fan favorite of a lot of people.
No.
It's very different than every other Zelda game.
Yeah, and you know what though? Thinking about it, this game and Zelda 2, in my mind, I mean, I can see it.
There's a couple similarities.
I can see it a little bit.
Yeah.
Zelda 2 was more Metroidvania-like, kinda. It had that Castlevania vibe going on.
Yeah, it's true. More Castlevania, like very kind of design levels and.
Yep.
Yeah. It's kind of funny to see that, and I think Zelda 2 is like the perfect game to like kind of bond with somebody over, because like if you both kind of love that game, like it's just obscure, not that loved, but it has its redeeming qualities. And
oh yeah,
it's kind of cool.
Yeah, because you wouldn't get that type of bond or kinship over something like, I really liked Ocarina of Time. Yeah, so did everybody and their mother.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're not going to get the same kind of like, whoa, I found someone else.
Yeah.
You know
exactly.
what I mean? So that's really cool that they were able to bond over something like that. Now let's get into the nitty-gritty, the hearts and the stuff. So it came out on February 24th in 2017. It's a pretty new game, Kev.
Yeah. It is pretty new.
People like it.
Yeah.
It's got an 86 on Metacritic. That's fantastic.
Reviewed well. Yep.
It did really well. Now, okay, what's your initial impression on this game here?
my initial impressions, it's a beautiful game. Like, that hits you in the face immediately.
Oh, clearly.
The controls, tight as hell.
Yep, that's what you need.
From what I saw, like, the atmosphere seemed like, completely awesome. Kind of this dark, kind of broody stuff. The fact that, like, all the enemies are bugs and, like, the characters bugs too. I'm like, oh, that's interesting, kind of neat.
Oh yeah.
Stuff like that, and I think it hits that theme really well. And I think this is a really, really important thing for games to, like, come through as polished products, is to have a very concrete idea of what their theme is.
Yeah.
And to present that in a very kind of consistent way. And this game definitely does that super well and does it like ASAP.
It does. I mean, it sets up this world for you, and you got to explore it, and you don't know what's going on, but you have the beautiful cinematic to start you off, the haunting music, man.
Oh, yeah.
The music in this game is fantastic. And things are spooky and weird, and there's lots of enemies around. It looks like a cartoon, kind of, almost. You know what I mean? Like, it has that look to it.
Yep.
Your character has he's strong. He has, like, a cuteness to him,
Yep.
And it's like, oh, you're just adorable.
Yeah, and all the enemies are, like, kind of the same way. They're, they're obviously
pretty gross later
dangerous looking, but they're also cute.
Yeah.
At the same time.
Yeah. Yeah, so, I don't know. I was really... definitely aesthetic-wise, it's very pleasing, for sure. Getting into the combat, it's simple. It's sorry, folks. It's simple, which is good, but I was looking for something more, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, it's a hard balance to strike, because, like, if it's simple, then it means you can kind of allow for the player to create their own way to fight. I think, Dark Souls is one of the prime examples of games that kind of do this, where it's like you only have a limited set of moves, but because those can, affect the enemy differently and, like, have different uses at different times, and you can control your positioning so well, it lets you have this kind of, like, it feels like a tight fight.
Right.
And I think this is the kind of idea that this game was going for, because you can slash in different directions. Even when you're in the air, you can slash down. If you do that, then, like, you bounce.
Yeah.
There's definitely a few abilities that tie in to let you fight in a few different ways.
Yeah.
Including some range stuff. And, it seems like the type of thing that should let you have, like, some interesting fights and stuff. But honestly, I mostly just found myself walk in, hit once, walk away.
Yeah, walk in, hit once, walk away, or, like, something that's bouncing at you, just got to time your hits right.
Yeah.
Because it'll just keep running at you with certain objects.
Every once in a while, just dodge a thing.
Yeah, jump over top of another. That's not to say the game's not hard, because I think the game is plenty hard.
Oh, yeah. Definitely.
But the combat, it's just kind of,
It was straightforward and a little chore, like, sometimes.
Yeah.
Especially with the enemies with a lot of health.
Oh,
you kind of figured out how to fight them. It was mostly just an exercise of doing it for long enough.
You know how to fight them, and then you're grinding back to an area, right? So, let's say there's a boss that's kicking your ass or something. Then you got to go through this area all again just to get to this one point after grinding through all these enemies.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was a little frustrating. Kind of Dark Souls-like, I guess.
Yeah, I know, but to me it felt different from Dark Souls.
It did.
And, like, I don't know if I can really pin down what it is. I think the combat being less interesting
maybe
is an important part of it, but also, like, for me, that trek always felt longer.
It felt really long, and I think where it's coming from is that you have less agency over how you can perform in combat. With Dark Souls, I can provide myself with a different weapon, or I can do something. This was my gripe with Titan Souls, right? Sure, it's a hell of a hard game. I get that. But there's only one way that I can attack and go about a situation, and that's the same with this game.
Yeah.
For the most part. You can equip the dash ability. Sure, I get that. But you have one weapon. You only really have one way to swing it, either up, down, or over. That's all you can do and dash about. So I feel like I'm banging my head against a wall sometimes.
Yeah.
Where it's just like, I guess I just have to get better at this one way that's provided to me.
Yeah.
Because I don't feel like I can think to myself, like, you know what, maybe I should use this type of weapon to provide me with a different solution to this scenario.
Yep.
I didn't feel like that at all, and that was, for me, a little frustrating, especially when it's such a, maybe I suck at games, but a difficult game, particularly like the third boss. I still haven't beaten them. And that sounds like I'm not very far into the game. I'm a good 20 hours.
Yeah.
I put my time into this thing for sure.
Yeah.
Now, how far did you get, Kev?
I played for 3 hours.
Yeah.
And I got to the third area.
Yeah, and we've been playing this for weeks, so I'm curious what happened. I'm not trying to harp on you, give you a hard time.
So basically, what happened for me is, I grinded a bit against the second area for the most part.
Yeah.
I eventually, found kind of a quick route to the boss. So it was pretty easy to just fight the boss a couple times. Defeated her pretty quickly. I was like, shit, okay, I have a lot of exploring to do. And I went to at least 2 wrong places.
Right.
Which takes you a long time to figure out if you're in a wrong place in this game.
Oh, yeah. And then if you didn't sit at a bench recently, you're going way back, man.
Yeah. So then, you have to traverse through this whole thing. And that's a lot of the Metroidvania love part is I get to move through this world or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm not a big fan of that in general. And I feel like this game, it was more of a pain in the ass than it is in a lot of other Metroidvania type games, because there's a shit ton of platforming in this game.
Yeah, and the platforming is not that easy. It's kind of tough sometimes, man.
Yeah, and I like it the first time I go through an area, like a room in the game. I hate it every time after that.
And the real BS part was if I got hit by an enemy, I'm flying back.
Yeah.
I'm getting and then I probably, in a lot of situations, I fell off of, wherever I got up to. And I'm like, great. All this work for one enemy bumping into me. And I just got penalized so much. I don't know. I found that really frustrating.
Another 30 to 45 seconds just doing these precise jumps to climb back up or whatever.
Or sometimes it was a good 10 minutes. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Or, that happens and you end up dying.
Yes.
And every time that happened to me, I just closed the game.
Really?
I couldn't do it. For me, I'm I am having no fun at this point.
Okay.
I don't want to walk back to where my body is, and I don't know where the fuck I'm supposed to be going.
Yeah. And that's part of the reason why I was talking to you about this. I felt like I was cheating at first, but then I thought to myself, this is how I like to play all these games. I have a walkthrough open. Yeah. I'm not watching it the whole way through, but at least I have the guide of where I'm supposed to go next, and it kind of points to it on a map, and I'm like, okay, I'm not totally lost. That's exactly what I did for Symphony of the Night, and it's exactly what I did for Dark Souls.
Yeah.
And for me, banging my head against the wall, trying to be like, how the fuck do I get through this stupid place? That's not fun. Yeah. I don't like that. And I don't think you do either.
I don't, and I think, that walkthrough would have helped me as well, but I didn't need that for Dark Souls. A lot of people say Dark Souls is basically a 3D Metroidvania.
Right.
And I'm just like, okay, what's the difference?
Yeah.
What is the difference here that's making me hate this game, but make it through Dark Souls?
I would say hate is strong.
I don't actually hate this game. There's a lot of good aspects to it, but really hate this scenario.
You're just frustrated.
Hating this scenario of dying and losing a bunch of progress.
Yeah.
Whereas I didn't in Dark Souls. In Dark Souls, I was always kind of driven to get back to where I was.
Yeah. Well,
and I think the big difference is in this game is that it is actually Metroidvania. Every room connects to, I won't say absolutely every room, but most rooms connect to 2 or more rooms.
Yes.
There are so many paths you can go, and the world is really, really large.
Yeah.
Dark Souls, people say it's a 3D Metroidvania. It's really, really not. The world is interconnected, but at best, most of those things are just loops that you can only go one way.
Yeah, exactly.
And every once in a while, there's this little offshoot where you go do a thing, and it has a quick dead end, or, it brings you back to another area.
Yeah.
Which you can go back up, super quickly. This game, it's got the Metroidvania stuff, so, there's always multiple different paths you can go, and sometimes they are just one-way paths.
Yeah. And that's just the way it goes. And I mean, with this, you'll get 7 rooms in at something, and it's I can't even approach this area at all yet. Why let me get this far?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? When there's no reward for me, there's nothing for me to get, I'm just going to get frustrated.
Yeah, no. And
Which,
like,
I mean, I guess it gets it in your mind of you can do this here later.
Yeah.
Sure, at least give me a shiny, you know?
Yeah, no,
At
I think
least
that
give me
shiny is another big
something.
part of it too. Like
Yeah.
in Dark Souls, if you go off the wrong way, then you got to at least maybe pick up a weapon you're not supposed to get.
Yeah.
And I think one a great example, even though people rag on this all the time, is the graveyard at Fartlink Shrine.
Yeah. You can
There's
get
a
this
shit
Zweihander.
ton of items in there. Some really fucking good ones, like
Yeah.
the Zweihander. And, it's the wrong way to go, but at least you get rewarded for trying hard.
Yeah.
And eventually you figure out the right way.
Yeah, exactly. You're like, why do I keep dying these skeletons? Oh, there's a staircase.
Let's look around a bit
Yeah.
more. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
This game,
This
like,
didn't
it
have
doesn't
that.
have that because it doesn't really have an item system in that kind of way, but it's got some other interesting systems that I think maybe we should talk about.
It does, absolutely. So it has a you get money basically when you kill guys. There's like shells of some type.
Yeah.
And when you die, very similar to Dark Souls, you have a retrieval mechanic. And
Yeah.
I like this retrieval mechanic quite a bit. It's you produce some type of ghost,
Yeah.
like some type of spiritly embodiment of you, and you have to fight it.
Yeah.
And it'll attack you, and the music gets all haunting and weird. I really liked that.
Yeah.
It's like everything kind of goes woo, like distorted and sound-wise, and I like that a lot. And you fight it, you kill it, and then you get back all your money.
Yeah.
And-
I really like the music and stuff, and I like the idea on paper.
Yep.
But I don't know. Do you ever find that fight with the ghost interesting? Because for me, it was a fucking cakewalk every time, and just like, thanks for wasting 30 seconds.
I get that, but it gets interesting when you're in like a room that's really sketch, because you're like, I got to get my money back, but oh my god, there's like four guys chasing me right now, and I got to kill this guy, and that, you know what though, it can get hectic if you're in the right room.
I had that happen, and even still,
You didn't like
I was- Well, the ghost didn't feel like a big impact compared to the other stuff in the room, so I just dealt with the stuff in the room.
Would
and
you
then got the
prefer it
ghost
to be a hard
afterwards.
fight?
I would prefer it to be more interesting
Okay.
in some way. I'm not sure if hard is the right thing, because like, especially since it doesn't have control over where it is.
Yeah.
It could be in a really hectic room,
Yeah.
but I don't know. It sounds cool on paper, and it just didn't work as well in the game.
Oh, I enjoyed it more than that. I say kudos to them for trying to take a stab at doing something a little different than just picking it up.
Yeah.
And something we also forgot to, or I also forgot to mention, is that it caps the amount of energy that you can store as well.
Yeah, so this whole energy system is pretty sweet. So
It's interesting.
as you attack and kill enemies,
You gain
energy, and then you use these energies for basically spells.
Spells and healing yourself, which is a key one.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's important when you get it right from the beginning.
Yeah. Which is good because
Yeah.
the way the health works in the game is you have little like skulls of some type anyway, and you have like 5 skulls.
Yeah.
So you can heal up one skull, but it's going to take about a third of your bar.
Yep.
So if you die, you then have like a cut-off bar. You only have 2/3 of that bar. So then
Yep.
you only get 2 heals for a full bar.
As opposed to 3 if you're
Exactly. If
recovered.
you had a full
Yeah.
bar of some type. So that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
I like that idea and that mechanic. Something I didn't like as much was the badge system in the game. It felt very limiting for features that I feel like I should have gotten a little more easily than I did.
Yeah, it's weird because some of the things you get from badges feel almost like you should just unlock them and have them permanently.
Yeah.
Such
like
as
a compass.
The compass.
The compass is a key one, so you get...
Yeah.
It's interesting, too, because you actually have to find the map maker in the game. And something I like that they did with this that was clever was, they had the map maker sing a tune.
Yeah.
You could hear this tune
when
in
you're
the
in the
distance.
same room.
You
and
know when you're in
where
the same room and you're
you
like,
should be.
he's here. And you kind of... I always light up every time. I'm like, thank you. And then I
Yep.
go over, I buy the map from them, and I'm able to do it. And then you have to buy a compass and equip the badge, which I thought was really frustrating because then it takes up a slot. Anyway.
And you only have 3 slots for badges.
Yeah.
Some badges take up multiple slots
you can unlock,
at once.
You can get more notches for slots.
And you can get more notches,
But yeah.
it's... I don't think the notches are doled out
No.
easily enough because I didn't get any, and
Yeah.
I need it more.
It requires
Just
some
in the time I was
intense
playing.
platforming to get any of them.
Yeah, and that
Yeah.
was a big part of it, and that badge system is actually something I fucking love about Paper Mario.
Yeah.
One of the key things that made Paper Mario stand out to me when I first played it, and yeah, it just feels like they did it significantly worse.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't like it as much. And just so we're clear, what the compass does is it makes you appear on the map so that you can see yourself. And that makes navigating a lot easier because you're like, oh, which room am I in?
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, it makes it super confusing. Now, just before we get more into the nitty gritty, I have a funny story about this game.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you get in there and you see, you walk to the far right when you get to Dirtmouth, kind of like Dartmouth, local area, kind of near here.
Yeah.
I kept calling it Dartmouth.
Yeah.
Anyway, you get to Dartmouth and you walk to the far right, as one does.
Yeah.
And you see a keyhole, and it says it requires a simple key. That stuck in my mind. I was like, whatever that is, I want to open that.
Yeah.
I'm getting myself a simple key. I end up going down, working my way through and get a shopkeep. He opens up shop up in Dirtmouth. I go up to Dirtmouth. He's selling a key for 900 coins. To be clear, at this
That's
point,
a lot.
the most I had was 100.
Yeah.
And it was set in my mind, I'm getting myself a simple key. I don't care what it costs, I'm doing it. So I get to City of Tears, favorite area in the game. It's a shame you didn't get there.
Mm-hmm.
It's really nice. It's really well designed. It's really smart. Anyway, I get there and I am far into City of Tears. And I'm getting a lot of money. And I'm like, what do we got going on here? I meet up with a guy, but I don't know how to get out. Is the thing. There's no easy teleport system. There's no, you can get you can purchase a toll for a bug that'll carry you back to places for like a railway system.
Yeah, it's like a train.
Yeah, exactly. But that's it. If you can't find it, then tough luck. You know what I mean? So I find this guy who's willing to buy secret goods or like special treasures that I found on my way. And I'm like, I wonder how much he's buying them for. I look. If I sell them, I have enough to get a simple key. And I'm like, okay. Can I get back to Dirtmouth to buy this simple key? Because this has been my goal of the game so far. This is what got me to City of Tears. I'm like, I have to get myself a simple key. So I do it. And I'm like, okay, I got to get back home somehow. I'm not going to go back the way I came because I'm like, I swear there has to be an easier way out of here. So I start going up in City of Tears. And I'm going up. And I'm luckily I fought the bosses beforehand, the mini bosses beforehand, so I could get myself out. And I go up and I get to this big room. And this room is massive, and it has flying spear guys on it. Spear guys are always dicks, right?
Yeah.
And anyway, they're flying around, and they can hurl their spear at you. And they're quite tough, and on either end are spikes on the top of the buildings that if you fall, you will get hurt and reset back to the ground.
Yeah.
So I look up, and I can see on my map a little bit that there's a big exit off to the left and a tiny little room to the top right. And I'm like, if I'm going anywhere, I'm not going to the top right because that's not going to get me where I need to go. I can't die. Because if I die, I'm going back pretty far, and I have to then hopefully get my money back so I can buy this simple key. So anyway, I go through and I try and clear through this room. It doesn't work. I get down to one piece of health, and I'm like, oh God. I get out of there. I start farming this section of bugs that I can then get a little bit of health back and loop around, and I try the room again, and they take me down to one bar again. I do the same thing, and I'm like, I'm nervous. I'm scared. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to take this room on methodically. So I take on, there's like 7 of these flying bugs around this big, massive room. And there's the exit off to the right and the big exit off to the left. Anyway, so I'm taking on this room, and I take them up one by one, and I'm luring them down, right? And I'm taking out these bugs, taking that. In my mind, the simple key is all I want.
Yeah.
So anyway, I get up there, and I finally get up there to the left. And I go and I get this big elevator, and it's this grand experience. And it's like a main central elevator that just connects everything together. And I get up and I get to the bottom area of Dirtmouth, and I'm like, I only have like 20 rooms to go through, and then I can get up and get the simple key, what I've been searching for this whole time.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I got to do it. And I work my way up there, and I'll be damned, Kev. I spent some money to open that elevator. I was 50 shy. And I'm like, I'm not letting this get the best of me. At this point, I had the double jump ability. So I went back to where I came from at King's Pass. And I ran up the side of that fucking wall all the way up to this castle. And I fought the first enemies. And I grinded them for a little bit. And I was grinding these enemies to get these 50 coins so that I could buy the simple key. And I bought it. And I am overjoyed with what the simple key will bring for me. I go over and I open the side door, and it allows you to fight your ghost and pull it towards you. And I'm like, that's pretty cool. And I thought to myself that the simple key was something you could use all the time.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I continue to go down. I'm like, this is the one item, though. But then I can open all the simple locks.
Yeah.
Ooh. So this was quite an experience for me. So I'm like, you know what? This was money well spent. Let's go down back to this big room. So I go to the big room, and I'm like, just for kicks, I got to see what was to the right. I get in there, and I see a shiny. It was a simple key.
What?
It's a one-use item. And I opened it for a door that does nothing. Nothing. The key was there the whole time, Kevin.
So you opened a door with a simple key that had a simple key behind it?
No. The door to the simple key was like a little area that was kind of cool that you could fight your ghost at. I then went down back to that big room.
Okay.
Went back there, made my way through. This was a whole hour-and-a-half long journey.
Yeah.
And then there's a fucking simple key. I threw the controller down. My character died, and I just walked away. I was like, I can't do this right now. I took out a pen and paper and just wrote down that tale because I was like, I have to tell this on the podcast because fuck this. This encapsulates this game so well, you know? You have an objective in your head, and you think you're doing the right thing. You're probably not. And then the game's just like, fuck you.
Nice.
Yeah, that's my tale. It was frustrating.
I bet.
But, like, I got the simple key. I got another one, I guess. Yeah. But, yeah, man. But one really cool thing, actually, about that King's Pass area was, you know, it's where you start the game. And I was like, let's just go back here for kicks. I then went back to the very beginning. And, you know, as I tend to do in games, you know, it presents you with one path to go. I obviously try the other one, see if it works. It worked at the beginning of the game. And I didn't think much of the area. I then went back there with the double jump ability. Mm-hmm. It totally Dark Souls it, dude. You can go back into that area and access a secret area.
Oh.
At the beginning, and I forget what it's called, but yeah, I was playing around in there a little bit.
That's cool.
Yeah, it was when I had all my money, so I didn't want to fuck around in there too much. But
yeah.
I kind of want to explore there more. We're not going to talk about the game much more in another future podcast, but yeah, I'm liking it.
Nice. That's cool. One thing in the game, because you mentioned, like, you were talking to some NPCs and stuff.
Yeah.
What did you think of how they did the voices? Because they basically did the Sims style.
You know what? I barely even listened to this game. I listened to podcasts the whole time and had the music on mute. I heard a bit of the music, but like, I didn't even listen to it, so I don't know.
Well, it had a good soundtrack, so you know. But also, what I found really weird was there's this very kind of dark and moody game. Yeah. And then there's these characters that are doing the Sims-esque voice. It reminds me a lot of Sims and Magica, the happy part of Brothers. Yeah. And I'm like, this doesn't fit at all. This is like taking me out of it almost. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I thought that was like the weirdest freaking design choice. Yeah. Like, why even bother? Like, it just doesn't sound right.
Just didn't work.
Yeah.
Nice, man. So now, how do you overall feel about it as a whole, as an experience? You know, would you recommend it to someone or?
Someone really likes Metroidvania games?
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's pretty tight. I think that energy system's super interesting. How you just have to choose between like using spells or healing yourself. Yeah. And like, you know, trying to get the energy back up, which normally isn't too hard to do. Like, yeah, there's a lot of interesting stuff going on. Feels pretty tight. And I don't know, I've seen a lot of positive reviews for it, so I think most of my not liking it is my personal tastes.
Yeah, and I think like I don't know. I don't think I'm going to give myself much blame for not beating this game. It's friggin' hard, man. I tried that third boss. He's called like the Superbug or something. You get the ground slam from him. He is really hard. That's the best way I can describe it because he has like 3 different phases. And I just couldn't touch him, man. He teleports around the stage, and it was way too hard for me, and I don't think I'd ever beat him. But I'm sure the game maybe gets better. I'm told City of Tears is the best spot, and it was good. It was a really whichever designer worked in that area, you know, you did a good job. Like it's just such a well-designed, smart area where you can kind of you see this big open area and you're like, what is this? And you get to explore it all around and you get an upgraded weapon so that you feel stronger. Yeah. And it's a really smart area and really coolly designed.
Nice.
Yeah. But as far as the game on a whole, I don't think I'm going to finish it. It doesn't have that draw for me.
Yeah. It's a 40-plus hour game, so it's a lot of playtime.
And you know what? I went back and looked at my favorite Metroidvania. Symphony of the Night's only 8 hours. Yeah. I think they would have been fine with a 10-hour game.
Yeah, like their original plan, apparently.
Yeah, I think 40 hours is maybe too much unless you got someone who loves it. Yeah. Who really seeks for that kind of banging your head against the wall, searching for the right way to go to get
mastering this game.
Yeah, if you want to get a lot of content for your amount of money, because it's like $20, you're getting a good bang for your buck, man.
Yeah.
You can get a lot of time out of this game if you really want to sink the time into it, because it's difficult. So that's a good way to get extra time out of it, and it's big.
Yeah.
And it'll take you down big dead-end paths, and if you're fine with the game being like, fuck you, I'm not going to give you anything, and you spent all your time getting here going through difficult platforming sections to just have to go back and maybe lose all your money, if you're fine with that, then maybe this is the game for you.
Yeah.
Maybe this is the thing you're looking for. But for me, right now in my life, I don't think I have the time to commit to something like this. And I don't think I have the energy. It's a young man's game, Kev. And like I said, I'm an eighth of the way to 200. Not getting any younger.
No.
So, especially given the nature of our podcast, because what we do here is we review a different game every week.
Yeah.
And this week, we did Hollow Knight. Next week, we're doing Gone Home.
Yeah.
And boy, howdy, I'm excited.
Fun.
Very fun.
Yeah.
Now, as final, I think Hollow Knight, I recommend it. Now, Gone Home, I don't know. What are we going to say? You're going to have to tune in next week, folks, to find out. And how can they tune in, Kev? How can they get us?
They can find us on YouTube.
Yep.
Search Namecast.
YouTube.com/.
Yeah.
We're almost there, guys. 7 more people, and we can get YouTube.com/Namecast. Please help us get there. Let your friends know.
Yep. We're also on Google Play.
Yep.
And iTunes. If you're watching us, reading? No, listening. Listening.
They're
That's
reading
the
us.
word.
Someone is transcribing all of this. This poor person.
Poor person.
Poor person. His name's Al. Fucking Al.
Lives in a basement.
Yeah.
Yeah. Leave some iTunes reviews.
Leave a review. Give us a comment.
Yeah.
Beat up a rock.
Man, that'd be cool.
You can beat up a rock?
Yeah, just like bruise a rock.
Oh, man. Imagine if rocks screamed every time you stepped on them.
Oh, no.
That would be awful. That Jeep adventure would be way more horrifying.
Would you climb anymore?
I don't know. I mean, it would be like you're caressing them, like, ow, my face. That's my wife. It would be weird, dude. Anyway, guys, we will catch you guys next week. We've been Namecast. You guys are awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. We'll catch you next week for Gone Home. Bye.
See ya.